The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Crime News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Crime News Talk. Today is July 16th, 2025. We are live to tape on episode 859. And today, Superbaby Inc. And signing on from Off the Grid, Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy Basil, and you are not crazy.
And my name is Gonz, director of the Age of Deceit films at Face Like the Sun, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, live to tape from the metaverse to bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And first things first, it's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Wednesday.
Woo! The Wednesday jingle's back. We got to bring back the Monday jingle, too. That's always a thing. For those who are watching the video, you'll notice that the ice vest is back, baby. It's hot. Yeah. It's the pre-show air conditioner did almost nothing. And so I busted out the ice vest from the freezer because it's going to be a hot one. And it's also hot down in Area 51, apparently. It always is. I don't know how that place isn't on fire all the time, but we'll get into that once we jump into the news. I want to give a big old shout out to all of the Face Like the Sun channel viewers. They're back, Gonz. Yeah. They're making it back. Yes, they're showing up. They're taking the survey. They're joining the text message alert program. Some of them, few of them, but some of them are producing the show. And nice. So we're happy to be back on that channel. Good job, Face Like the Sun people.
All right. Yeah. No, good people. I think they saw that they missed 500 episodes of Canary Crime News Talk, and maybe they almost exactly
500 episodes did the
That's
Face Like the Sun
think.
People miss. Yeah, it is.
That's kind of wild to imagine that we did. Episodes.
I want to make one announcement before we get going. It has been done. The Canary Cry text message alert system, we figured it out. Two things. A, there's the resubscribe problem where people previously were subscribed and they said stop, and now everybody's texting me unstop and it's not doing anything. Apparently the system is telling them this, but the system is not telling them. What the system is not telling them is that you have to text back unstop canary, not just unstop. The canary is the key word that triggers the robot. So if you were on the list, you got off the list, you want to be back on the list, text unstop canary and you'll get put back on the list. And I'm talking to you, 317 and 417 and 407 and 717 and 487 and 784 and 857. Wow. If you just heard your area code, text unstop canary to get back on the list. There's a lot of sevens in that list, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. Seems to be a
sevens.
Pattern.
All right.
A pattern, yeah. Okay, well.
And shout out to 843, real quick. Shout out to 843, who says, so happy y'all are back on YouTube. Is Flippy back to lol. So 843 apparently was a Face Like the Sun person. We're glad that they found the show. So there you go. Now everybody, that's just one announcement, okay? If you're not on the list, text Canary to 877-740-3226. But we also now have the ability, by popular demand, to, if you want to get meetup information, if you want to be alerted when there's new meetups, if you want to put on your own meetup, we have a whole new list for people who want to go to meetups, put on meetups, know when meetups are going on. Text the word meetups to the same number, 877-740-3226. That's right. You got to text the word meetups. And we'll probably only send you at most one text a week. But there you go. Now people will have access to, people are hearing their own area codes all the time on the text message portion of the show. And they're like, oh my gosh, there's Canarians right around me. We got to do a meetup. I want to meet them. Well, now you can text the word meetups to 877-740-3226. All right, there you go. There's the housekeeping. It is hot. If only Area 51 had an ice vest, Gonz, maybe the alien technology could save what's going on. Take us to the desert, Gonzo.
He's on fire, and the UFOs are here.
You don't know what you're looking at.
What's driving that thing? It's not a space alien.
Aliens. It's unidentified.
An unidentified fire has broken out at Area 51. And there's some footage.
Oh,
this
no.
is the first thing I saw this morning. Some footage of smoke in the background there.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. And I thought, okay, Area 51, sure. But, it was solidified with a DailyMail.co.uk article. Enormous fire breaks out by Area 51, sending UFO watchers into a frenzy. The fire is causing frenzy, which it's got its own Burning Man type of esoteric power to it there. A massive fire has broken out near the infamous Area 51, sending plumes of smoke into the sky and UFO enthusiasts into a panic. Do you think they've really gone into a panic? I don't know if they've gone into a panic. That sounds a little...
I'm panicking. It's how they get rid of evidence, Gonz. There's the FBI warehouse fire that got rid of all the JFK and Epstein evidence. There's the chicken factory fires, the egg factory fires that brought down the food chain during COVID. And now someone, perhaps they're Antifa, maybe somebody wearing a black mask showed up and they just had some Molotov cocktails left over, from LA ice raids or something. And just thought, you know what? I'm tired of the secrets. Show us them aliens.
That's true. Or, it's possible that this is some kind of judgment. God uses fire for judgment quite a bit. So it's maybe something like that. And maybe it does destroy evidence. But, we have the confidence that all things will be revealed. So I don't think I'm too worried about it. But I don't know. I guess some people are in a panic. You're in a panic. You shouldn't panic. You should chill out.
I'm panicking. Well, tell me, what are the details? Tell me more details.
Okay. A live stream camera set up on private land just outside the heavily guarded Groom Lake facility near Rachel, Nevada, captured eerie footage of smoke rising from deep within the classified base. From the deep. The blaze was sparked by the Gothic fire, which has grown from 8,000 acres to 35,000 since starting on July 4th. Happy birthday, America. Here's a Gothic fire for you near Area 51 in
That is interesting. The same time that the Texas floods started.
Yes.
You got the fire. So this fire has been going on for like a week.
Mm-hmm. It has been confirmed as a lightning-sparked wildfire. Who rolled out the lightning machine? Who was it?
Uh-huh.
Was it you?
That's right. I mean, hello. It's right there. It's the geoengineering. They want you to think that, oh no, all geoengineering is just cloud seeding. We've been doing it for decades. It's no big deal. They're not mentioning the HARP frequencies. They're not mentioning this. They're not mentioning the lightning machines.
No, just listen to the 25-year-old
internal cabal.
You think maybe? Yeah, no. Just listen to the 25-year-old CEO of a cloud seeding company in Texas to tell you all the truths about what's going on with weather
we'll talk
modification.
about him for sure.
Yeah. But that has not stopped speculation from spiraling online. I feel like that's just that's like the default of online is speculation spiraling, with conspiracy theorists claiming everything from a crashed experimental craft to a cover-up gone wrong. Quote, I'm not saying anything other than it was aliens. Skywatch Signal, a group that monitors strange sightings, shared on X.
It's reasonable.
Yeah.
That's your voice of reason over there on Skywatch Signal. Look, I'm not saying it was anything crazy. I'm just saying it was aliens.
The joke desensitizes people, though, you know? By the time the aliens really pop out, it's like, oh, yeah, we've been
I don't
joking
think it's a
about you
joke.
guys for years. That's what I'm saying. People think it's a joke. Area 51 has become a cultural phenomenon thanks to decades of conspiracy theories connecting the base to UFOs. And I'm sure the local area becoming, profiting off of that by becoming a tourist attraction. Aliens and experimental aircraft testing. While the fire is around 15 miles outside of the military base, it is currently sweeping over where above-ground nuclear testing occurred, the Nevada test site, which sits 65 miles northwest of Las Vegas. The site, known as the Nevada National Security Site, was established for nuclear weapons testing during the Cold War, and there is still nuclear debris and contamination in the area. Huh. Interesting. It's like an opening to the abyss or something. Kind of weird. The fire is under the jurisdiction. Of course. The fire is under the jurisdiction of the Department of Defense, which is listed as the landowner for Area 51 and surrounding regions. The Gothic fire is primarily spreading through northern Nevada, gaining fuel as high temperatures and low relative humidity hit the state. The area is also littered with timber, specifically pinon and juniper and grass, allowing the fire to continue its path of destruction. Despite the fire's growth, no evacuations have been ordered, and no structures are threatened. So there you go. There's no threat here. There's no threat here.
No
nothing to see here. Nothing.
No UFO warehouses. No secret underground storage facilities. I was gonna say there's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot to burn out in the Nevada desert. It's like it's got to be just like a brush fire or something, unless there's some maybe interdimensional brush, interdimensional foliage that the veil between dimensions down there at Area 51 is so thin and the fire's so hot that we're burning plants from another dimension, burning across the desert.
That's possible, certainly. There you go. I mean, there's not much else. It's just more news coming out about this situation here. So, I mean, we'll see.
Not much else. There's not much publicly known because, of course, it's Area 51. There's all sorts of much else. It's all out there. The truth is out there. It is fun. They mentioned Rachel, Nevada. Have you ever been to Area 51 or Rachel, Nevada?
No, I have not.
Oh, it's a blast. It's one gas station and like a shack out back where the gas station attendant lives. And it's an impressive gas station because, they got to combine the grocery store, the gas station, the restaurant. I believe it's also a restaurant, as well as the souvenir shop, all packed into like one gas station building that was built in like the 60s or something. So they're doing good out there, Rachel. There was some recent news about the fellow. Okay, here's what it is. I believe it's on Netflix. They are releasing a documentary about the Area 51 Storm Area 51 raid or whatever. You remember that? It was like back in maybe 2018 or something.
Right. They're going to finally get the truth, storm the thing, and they got basically threatened to like leave or...
Yeah, well, as a bunch of online people were going to come together. They were going to Naruto run across the security perimeter of Area 51 and find the truth. And it started as a joke until people started showing up. And, I think in the end, there's like 100 or 200 people who actually showed up. The fellow, again, who made the joke that we should all go Naruto run to Area 51 and set the aliens free or whatever, he was contacted by the government and said, hey, take this down. Don't do this. Seriously, please don't do this. And so he canceled that and told, he had started... Once it had started gaining traction, he's like, oh, shoot, people are really interested in this. Okay, maybe we should start planning like a music festival type thing there. And, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You go viral.
How do you go from storming the fence to a music festival? I mean, come on, people. You got to.
Well, that's the thing. You got to make money. He's got to make some money with the event. If he's actually going to get hundreds of people out there, maybe even thousands,
might as well.
You got to have some way to make money.
Entertainment. Yeah, sure.
Exactly. So he was going to plan this music festival. The government called, said, "No, you're not. What are you doing?" Actually, when I visited Area 51, this was a couple years ago, I went to the gas station in Rachel, Nevada, and they had the shirts for the event that you could buy. And I bought one. I should wear it on the show one of these days.
Oh, you should.
It's like
yes.
a, kind of goofy cartoon of an alien like climbing a fence, and it's the Storm Area 51 festival or whatever. So anyways, this documentary is coming out about that event a little too late, in my opinion. I think they missed their window for the relevance of the Storm Area 51. It's these days, there was a documentary on Fauci like 4 days after Fauci left office or something like that. People are cranking out these docs so fast. So I don't know if whatever it is, 8 years later is really good, but they're putting out a thing.
Evergreen material.
Apparently, if I understood this correct, the guy who planned it went through all this planning and then got contacted by the government. People still showed up. Hundreds of people showed up to storm Area 51. And he just like took the weekend off. He just like went to a different music festival, just abandoned the whole project. Probably a good choice on his part. But I might check out that documentary because there might be something interesting there. That was a big moment. Remember how simple the world used to be, Gonz, where a guy who said, "Hey, let's Naruto run to Area 51" was like the most exciting thing going on in the world. It was a different time.
Yeah. Other things were going on too. And this is pre-COVID too. So yeah, this truly was before an era, a change in the tides of.
Yeah. All we had at the time was Russiagate, Russia.
It's true. All right. Well,
all right.
Well,
let's get to some of the bigger
There's a
news.
lag. It's
I
really
think we're
annoying
having
me.
a little slight lag, aren't we? We're getting just a
it's
slight
really
little lag. All right.
Yes.
Well, let's see here. I'll poke around, see if I can make this clean up the connection or something. But we should probably get into the news. The big news here. Would you maybe let's do this? If you want to start us off with the Epstein Trump updates, maybe I'll leave and I'll come back. I'll do a reconnect. I'll see what I can do, and I'll be back.
Okay.
We will launch a new age.
Epstein. Oops, I spelled Epstein wrong. That's not fun.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
Donald J. Trump, our president, posted this on Truth Social, and it has caused another frenzy. It says the radical left Democrats have hit pay dirt again, just like with the fake and fully discredited Steele dossier, the lying 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell. Interesting. Lying 51, same day as the Area 51 fire. I don't know. Maybe something there or something. The lying 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, which the Dems swore had come from Russia. No, it came from Hunter Biden's bathroom. And even the Russia scam itself, a totally fake and made-up story used in order to hide crooked Hillary Clinton's big loss in the 2016 presidential election. These scams and hoaxes are all the Democrats are good at. It's all they have. They're no good at governing, no good at policy, and no good at picking winning candidates. Also, unlike Republicans, they stick to, what is this? What is their thing here? Go away. I don't need you. Okay, I can't. All right. Their new scam is what we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. And my past supporters have bought into this bad word, hook, line, and sinker. And this is the line that has gotten a lot of people riled up on X and other social media here. The new scam is what we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. So now he is changing the conversation about the Epstein. I mean, he has been, obviously. He's been talking about this. He took the stance of, hey, we talked about it last episode. Why would you believe any of the documents are true if it's coming from the Democrats, the same people that gave you the Steele dossier, the Russia hoax, all that stuff, which he has a point. It's like, okay, there's a point there. But now, the Epstein issue, because it's been politicized to this degree, Trump is rebranding this Epstein issue as the Jeffrey Epstein hoax, and hoping that, I mean, this is really it's a saw for MAGA. I mean, it is just chopping MAGA right down. I don't know about the middle, but certainly a portion of it is being siphoned off because, and he knows it. I mean, he knows that's what he's doing, because he says here, and my past, all caps, past supporters have bought into this bad word, hook, line, and sinker. So really alienating the group of truth-seeking individuals who are, as far as this Epstein issue goes, are not buying the Trump thing, especially because, I mean, it's like a 180, to everything we've been led to believe the last 10 years pretty much about this whole situation. I mean, one could argue that it was Epstein at the core of all the stuff that came out with Pizzagate and all that helped Trump win in 2016. It was that quote unquote awakening period when people started to realize, wait a minute, there's some weird, creepy folk running our country. And, Jeffrey Epstein and the whole Epstein thing was part of that revelation for the masses, the public realizing, the levels of deception and creepiness going on. And so for Trump to now at the end, maybe it's not the end of his term here, but during his second term, flipping that narrative based on what appeared to be official documentation, with the FBI claiming the video footage, which continues to be a topic of interest for people. Now they're saying that there's over 2 minutes missing and that it's a clear edit, and there's a whole rabbit trail there that we don't have to get into. But let me read the rest of this post here. They haven't learned their lesson, continuing to talk about the past supporters who he just alienated, and probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years. I have had more success in 6 months than perhaps any president in our country's history, and all these people want to talk about with strong prodding by the fake news and the success-starved Dems is the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Basil, when you were gone, I was just mentioning how he's pretty much rebranded this whole thing. I mean, he's obviously taken the position against the whole situation with what's going on, but also putting a name to it, the Jeffrey Epstein hoax, and then siphoning off, like literally cutting off a part of his constituency or his group of followers by saying my past supporters have bought into this particular Jeffrey Epstein hoax, alienating a certain number of his people. Let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work. Don't even think about talking of our incredible and unprecedented success, because I don't want their support anymore. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. Man, fighting words, Basil.
It is so bizarre. It's so bizarre. It's very interesting, but it does confirm, I think, what one of the things that we were suspecting, which is Donald Trump, of course, thinking that he's stupid or doesn't know what he's doing is sort of part of the psyop, right. The Donald Trump psyop. Yeah. Coming out and calling it basically straight up a hoax is, I don't see the plan. I cannot see the vision. I cannot see what strange. It's almost like Trump has his own AI in the background telling him mapping out this butterfly effect of stuff, because again, you get into the chaos magician thing. Yeah. It cannot be denied. No matter what he says, what he does, how outside the realm of reality he goes on any subject, he continues to come out on top. He always does. He's never not come out on top. And so I'm thinking, I think it's silly to think, oh, he's really messed up now. This is going to end him. put it on the long list of things that have ended this guy. Now, in case somebody is tempted to think that I'm like being a trust the plan guy or like, joining the Republican Party and supporting Trump, you just got to go back and listen to kind of how we've described it before. Again, I bring it up all the time and I'll keep bringing it up. Marina Abramovich, the head witch, the spirit cooking lady, the globalist sort of dark occult queen, she herself said that Trump is some sort of very powerful chaos magician. And that's what we're watching here. And I don't know how, I don't know if it's some sort of witchcraft or what, but this thing that, once you break all the taboos, all the norms, all the, everything that polite society expects you to do, which he's now spent 10 years doing very successfully, you start running out of chaos to create. And I think turning that strategy or turning that, the only thing left to do is to break the taboos of his supporters. And there's no bigger taboo that you could break. There's no more chaotic thing that you can insinuate, especially to Trump supporters, that Epstein's a hoax. There's sort of background supernatural move going on here. It's very strange.
When you were trying to reconnect, I was mentioning how one could argue that the Epstein issue was truly the bedrock to his victory in 2016, because it was the backdrop to the Pizzagate stuff that came out and awakened so many people about all the weird, creepy stuff going on in our government. So, yeah, this is truly hitting the core of his rise to presidency using what appeared to be somewhat of like a truth movement, right? That was kind of his thing. I mean, his Truth Social. His whole platform is Truth Social. But then, he's spitting out perhaps one of the biggest cover-ups potentially in sort of the modern politique, So,
Yeah. And, it's the same as we've always historically seen. We saw it with MLK. We saw it with JFK. We saw it with Watergate. The biggest conspiracy is the cover-up. Almost always. The cover-up is the conspiracy. Of course, it's Epstein especially. It's just this sort of demonic, horrible situation.
Well, that's the thing. The evidence is so terrible that you can't make the evidence public. That's just irresponsible.
So this has been very fun. Yeah, let's talk about what's been going on in Congress here. Recently, if you've spent any time online, if you know any Democrats, if you have any Democrats on your X feed or whatever, there's this new thing. CNN themselves even said, whoa, Democrats are now making Epstein their main issue. And CNN points out, Democrats for 10 years, have been calling the Epstein issue a conspiracy and a baseless claim and a blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff couldn't possibly be true. Then the second that Trump starts this weird hoax campaign, suddenly it's their main priority campaign issue. Now,
the Dems are truthers now. Yeah, let's go blue.
Basically,
blue truth.
That's what we're seeing. We're seeing, again, the reversal of opposites, the breaking of taboos. These are all very occult principles that we're seeing play out. And that's exactly right. It's turning into the Democrats are becoming the truthers. And you saw this even before Epstein. We saw this a lot with immigration. We didn't play it on the show. I don't know if you saw it, Gonz, but suddenly there's all these new liberal social media stars. They were not stars before. They're not influencers. They're just people who go viral, who come out with, and they'll literally say, I figured it out. I know the conspiracy. Donald Trump is loading up immigrants into military cargo planes and dumping them in the ocean. Look at this.
What?
Look at the flight. You haven't heard this?
No.
Oh my gosh. This is the new biggest thing. So just to set the scene for the way we're going to watch culture shift, and we've called this time and time again, We have called this every single time, Gonz, and it happens slowly. And it's, it's a big ship, so it takes a long time for it to turn
around. Yeah.
But what we're seeing step by step is Democrats becoming the truthers. And so, yes, it was a huge phenomenon. It was like last week, I think. Specifically, there's like 2 or 3. There's a guy and a gal, and they're just kind of normal. They're not influencers, they're not like beautiful to look at or anything. It's just people with their cameras, and they go, okay, guys, I keep getting censored, and it's because they don't want the truth to come out. And I see here, I've got this flight tracker here. You can see this military plane flew out into the ocean, and then it came back. And then suddenly, on the coast of Spain, so by the way, they're saying in the United States, they see a military plane go out and come back, right? And then they're saying on the coast of Spain, there are people handcuffed, washing up dead on shore. Like, okay. Oh, it goes even better. It's, in these waters, see this where they make this circle and then the planes turn back? Those are shark-infested waters. So Donald Trump is loading up immigrants into military cargo planes, flying them out, dumping them in shark-infested waters, and then their bodies are washing up on the coast of Spain, like 3,000 miles away. So the whole thing doesn't make any sense. But
is there like a group forming, a ZAnon or something?
No, these are just, Blue Anon already exists, and these probably people kind of officially, or unofficially, you could call them Blue Anon, but they are getting so much traction, they're going so viral, and the theories and the things that, even the evidence that they're bringing, you can tell it's like, these are newbies, okay? These are newbie conspiracy theorists.
Newbie truthers.
Yeah, they're just kind of like, there's no real evidence. They're making lots of jump in logic, but it's all this anti-Trump stuff. So my suspicion is that, this isn't, of course, we know this isn't exactly organic. If something goes viral, it's because the platforms wanted it to go viral. That's the whole thing.
I recall you reporting, 6 months ago at the beginning of this year, I think it was the turn of the year, that the left and the Democrats had a lot of money set aside, ready to go to fund its own sort of truth. They didn't call it truther, but
but
like
they're
an
looking
influencer
for
campaign, right?
Right. They wanted to replicate the cultural movement of the right.
Right. So
not an ad campaign, not a sponsorship of a podcast or something.
They wanted to create a fake organic movement.
Yeah, like they always do. Of course.
Do.
Yeah. So this is
maybe some of that we're seeing starting.
So this is the stage, right? Yeah. So this is the stage. This is what you're seeing. This is the movement. It's going to continue this way. And I was thinking at the beginning of the year when God sort of was whispering to me, like, look, in 365 days, everything's going to be different. It's just hard to explain. The world, the way we experience the world is going to be totally different. And now I'm watching this happen. I'm like, wow, that is actually very different that I would not have guessed. I would not have anticipated that the Democrats would be the ones to go full tinfoil hat. I'm not even saying in the fun way, in the unfun way, conspiracy theorists. So that sets the scene. That's kind of where we're at. Okay. So Democrats are the new truthers. That's what the cultural, not
the
grassroots.
Winds, the
what
winds
do they call
are,
it?
I don't know, the cultural winds. I don't know the analogy.
Yeah, no, but even more than that, it's AstroTurf. The AstroTurf cultural movement. It's not grassroots, it's AstroTurf, so it's artificial grassroots, right? Okay. So the AstroTurf cultural movement here is that no, Democrats are the truthers. They saw how great it worked for the right, they saw how great it worked for Trump, and they're trying to sort of recreate that. This Epstien is a hoax thing, and Trump is playing right into it, which is why I'm like, okay, there's something going on here. Trump is saying such unexpected, not even unexpected, just demonstrably false things about Epstein, and it's a hoax, and we shouldn't care, nobody cares, that kind of stuff. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like how the Democrats would talk about the right. And you know, whether it's like, why do you care? Nobody cares about what you're saying, you crazy conspiracy theorist. You know, you're nuts. So you have Trump playing directly into this. Now, right now, we're seeing the Democrats cheer and, you know, go nuts. And the main message is Republicans are the ones who are protecting Epstein. They are the ones who are protect Epstein. They want you to think that Epstein's a hoax. They're all on the list. They're all Republican. They're all
wow, that turned quickly.
Yeah,
that was interesting.
And the reason for that is because of a couple of attempts to get a vote on the floor. And let's just jump over to Newsweek real quick. What do you have up there in front of you?
Oh, this is just Thomas Massie. And the point I was going to make with this, he says that we all deserve to know what's in the Epstein files, who's implicated, and how deep this corruption goes. Americans were promised justice and transparency. And that was reposted by Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm proudly co-sponsoring and will sign the discharge petition. I will never protect pedophiles or the elites and their circles. The move to create the truth movement for the Democrats comes at a time when the whole American Party was presented too, interestingly enough, like a true threat to the right-left paradigm. They're like, we better flip. We better flip quick because it's, you know, there's somebody can really take the, because anytime there's a shift in the tides or the pendulum swings, there's a moment of dispersion where everyone kind of just, wait a minute, what's going on? Like, what happened? Because everything changes. And you have a period of time where everyone's kind of a free agent trying to figure out what's going on. And last time we saw a lot of people from the left move to the right in terms of political party and affiliation. And this time we're maybe about to see the opposite, but only because this third party is entering the picture with the America Party, quote unquote.
And there hasn't been a lot of updates with America Party. In fact, Elon hasn't really even talked about it very much lately. And I think that's the interesting part is this, there's not a big campaign. It's just kind of sitting there. It's like, okay, it exists. Now wait, because like we said before, Trump continues to really carry out a plan as if his goal was to turn everyone away from the Republicans. And then the America Party is there waiting. And we think that the whole Elon Trump theater they're fighting was all part of this. You know, he's a lame duck. That's not that he's actually lame like usual lame duck presidents, but he can't run in 2028. The Trump political legacy is coming to an end. And what Trump doesn't want, or what a lot of people don't want, is, you know, there is no replacement for Trump. MAGA, if you want to call it MAGA, or you want to call it whatever it is that Trump, you know, whatever group Trump has really drawn in, if he's gone, then the Republican Party will just go back to being Republican. Like, it'll just go back to establishment, Mitt Romney, you know, uniparty sort of nonsense, you know, two sides of the same coin. Like, this really is a destruction of the uniparty. And I'm not saying, I'm not saying I know any plans. I'm not saying anything. But what I'm seeing here with Trump's obviously crazy behavior, it's only serving to destroy specifically the Republican Party, and I believe this America Party with Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene and a few others who are sort of leaning America Party. I believe they're truly trying to destroy the Republicans, you know, Republican establishment from the inside out. Okay, so we had, let's jump over to Newsweek here, because we're hearing from the Democrats, hooray, the Republicans, they love Epstein. Look, we tried to get the Epstein files and the Republicans are keeping it hidden. Newsweek has a headline here, full list of Republicans who blocked Epstein files vote. And remember, this is Newsweek, intelligence, sort of related here. And I chose this one because the headline, full list. We've made a list. You want to see a list of those to blame? Look, there's no Epstein list, but here's a list of people who voted to block Epstein files. So it's very sort of NLP related here. And it says 7 House Republicans listed below, thank you, more lists, voted against a motion on Monday that would have allowed a congressional vote regarding the release of files in Jeffrey Epstein's case. So this was a vote to be able to vote. Representative Ro Khanna, the Democrat from California, tabled an amendment for a House vote requiring Attorney General Pam Bondi to preserve and release any records related to Epstein. The motion was defeated 5-7. One Republican member, Ralph Norman, voted yes, alongside Democrats. Republican Representative Chip Roy, who missed the vote, Roy has been contacted via email for comment. Why it matters. So let me just give you the rundown here. So Ro Khanna, a Democrat, has tried twice now. There was one yesterday and then there was one today to slip in an amendment to the Genius Act. The Genius Act is the cryptocurrency bill. Do you want to explain a little bit more about it?
Yeah, well, it's just a bill that allows for stablecoins to become a little bit more official. A stablecoin being a cryptocurrency that's tied to the U.S. dollar. And now we have a whole bunch of companies that's been. We've always said that this is a Trojan horse to a CBDC, a central bank digital currency.
Of course,
in certain ways it is, but it's all technicalities.
So they're voting on the cryptocurrency stablecoin bill. All right.
Yeah. Right.
And then Ro Khanna.
Yes, this guy here
presents an amendment to the Genius Act to go into the cryptocurrency bill.
Okay. Yeah.
And it reads like this.
All right.
Amendment to the Rules Committee print offered by Mr. Ro Khanna of California. Add at the end the following new sections. So he's going to add this to the end of the Genius bill. Preservation and release of records. A, the Attorney General, it's Pam Bondi, shall retain, preserve, and compile any records or evidence related to any investigation, prosecution, or incarceration of Jeffrey Epstein. B. Okay. So in the cryptocurrency bill,
is there an Epstein coin? What are we talking about here? Is this
yeah, right.
The guy who the dev for Epstein coin incarcerated? I don't get it. What's that?
So along with the Stablecoin Act, the Genius bill, Ro Khanna comes in and says, "Okay, Pam Bondi. Also, you have to retain, preserve, and compile all records or evidence related to any investigation, prosecution, or incarceration of Jeffrey Epstein. B, not later than 30 days after the date of the enactment of this act, the Genius Bill, the Attorney General shall release and publish any records or evidence related to any investigation, prosecution, or incarceration of Jeffrey Epstein on a publicly accessible website."
Any evidence?
Any and all
the evidence.
Any and all. And so at the end of the cryptocurrency bill, Ro Khanna tries to put these two little things in there at the end. That got voted out on Monday because what does this have to do with cryptocurrency bill? This is not a
oh no, we want all the evidence on a blockchain. That's what Ro Khanna was talking about. Just he wanted immutable data for all the stuff.
This is not a CR. This is not an omnibus. This is nothing. This is a bill for one thing. So he slips it in, and Republicans say, no, it's not a cryptocurrency thing. This is a cryptocurrency bill. Get out of here. So then he comes back.
Off topic for a crypto stablecoin bill was their official statement that was
which is just
Snopes.
Sort of an objective statement of fact that it was off topic. So he goes, okay, it's off topic. Well, then I'll bring it tomorrow. And he brought it to Tuesday to the, again, now remember, this is the Rules Committee, which is the committee of Congress people who vote to decide how they will vote on something. So he brings it to the Rules Committee again, and it fails again. And the Republicans say, no, we're not doing this. Now you might think,
he's just
why?
trying to get
Why?
it into any bill. It doesn't matter what the bill's about. Just get that Epstein evidence out there. Let's do it. These Democrats.
Yeah, basically, he's just trying to get it out there. So, Democrats are like, oh my gosh, the Republicans are voting to not allow all records and evidence to be made public on a public website. The Republicans are protecting Epstein. Trump says it's a hoax, yada, yada, yada. Well, all it takes is 2 brain cells to rub together. Because you talk about, we're seeing the language, okay? Talk about the language in the media. You're hearing a couple things. You're hearing the Epstein files. The files, just the files of Epstein. It's not a proper noun. It's just you're generally referring to the Epstein files. Yeah, and then there's the client list, okay? Where's the client list? Give us the client list. Look, there is no list of clients. Like, he didn't have a postcard in his pocket that said client list, right? These are just words that the media is latching on to. So you talk about the Epstein files. What are the Epstein files? It includes 10,000 videos recorded in Epstein's house of horrible, demonic child abuse material. And so the Democrats are saying, the Republicans don't want to release publicly on the internet all of the Epstein files. They love Epstein. And the Republicans just go, no, we're not going to vote to approve the uploading of 10,000 child abuse videos and put them on a public website. The
government approves. That the government
approves. The U.S. government.
A .gov with that evidence on there. Yeah, that's a good
posting
good look.
10,000 illegal videos. And look, Ro Khanna didn't have to write it this way. He could have written all records and evidence, except for the horrible criminal things that we don't want people to see.
All relevant evidence, or he could have even used a little more gray language, but none of it. It's very straightforward.
Exactly.
It's almost like they've set up Ro Khanna to be like some kind of truther for the Democrats, going in there trying to be the guy that's trying to get the truth out, but actually it's kind of perverse what he's trying to do.
And that's the point. Because Ro Khanna could have made it more reasonable and made it harder for Republicans to say no. He could have said, accept the child abuse material. He could have said, this amendment is 5 lines long. He wrote 5 lines of text. He could have added a 6th line to say, except for the naughty stuff, right? But he didn't. And why? Because it's this operation to turn the Democrats into the new truthers. That he never wanted this to actually get passed. It doesn't matter. Why would he put it on the end of a crypto bill? Doesn't matter because he doesn't want it to pass.
Especially most people aren't going to look into that either. They're not going to.
No, it's exactly. And now that he did it twice in a bill that he never expected to pass, an amendment that was so ridiculous that he obviously, when he was putting it to a vote, was just like, I think we should add this to the cryptocurrency bill. Wink. No, don't think so. Oh, Republicans, you love Epstein. Okay, so we got 2 things going on at once. We have the Democrats doing this. Now they get to say over and over, and boy, do they love saying it, that Republicans are defending Epstein. Republicans are keeping the files hidden. Republicans are, you get the point. So we have the Democrat side building this narrative that they are the new truthers. And then on the other side, you have Trump saying it's a hoax, it's a hoax, it's a hoax. Well, we know it's not a hoax, right? Trump supporters know it's not a hoax, and there's no way that Trump supporters are going to go, well, I guess now I'm a Democrat,
Right.
Trump said this thing, so I guess I'll be a Democrat now. But at the same time, Democrats are starting to come off as the crazy ones, which leaves only one third option, the America Party. Now, this probably won't happen right away. where, they've got 3 more years to continue this madness, to just absolutely obliterate the paradigm of, the two-party system, the left-right paradigm. And, Ro Khanna is one of these interesting fellows. He is a Democrat. He's staunchly a Democrat. He's no dino or anything like that. But there's a lot of conservatives who tolerate Ro Khanna. He's been on kind of the right side of a few things regarding culture war issues. He's he's kind of like the Democrat Rand Paul kind of.
I was going to say that. I was going to say that they're trying to make him into that. I don't know that he
is. A
is,
little bit. He's kind of been that. I mean, it's not a perfect one-for-one comparison, but if you wanted to look for a Democrat Rand Paul, Ro Khanna is the closest thing they have, right? And which means he is kind of one of the guys who would be an obvious pull from the Democrats to the America Party. So you kind of have
it's just a bridge. We're just building a bridge, Basil.
Right. Or he'll, or he's, creating the narrative and creating the reputation to be able to, when he does say, oh, we're going to America Party, I'm going over, I'm no longer a Democrat. Now he has the history, the reputation, and the following to maybe actually pull some Democrats over to America Party because he, tried to get the Epstein files out. He did these things. So it's really all coming together. It's very interesting to watch.
How prophetic is this jingle? Because the whole Epstein situation started with the FBI, right? The FBI releasing their sort of analysis. So check out this jingle that we've had for a while here.
A lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax. I mean, it's a money-making industry, okay?
Unindicted co-conspirators.
It just kind of has a different ring to it now, post-Trump.
Hoax, yeah. The word hoax was not as powerful as it was before Trump got a hold of it. From the Russia hoax,
Epstein hoax. That's
what I mean.
You think of this. Yeah.
You think of the past 10 years, you think of Russia hoax, laptop hoax, there's these long list of hoaxes that really has made the word hoax more powerful than it used to be because you say hoax and you just automatically think of the Democrats attacking Donald Trump. So now when he deploys that word to something like Epstein, it's like, whoa, bro, that is very powerful. I want to mention here, who's this? Al in the chat says, Libertarian Party has a better chance than the America Party. Why not pump up that already existing party? I had the same thought, but I think the problem with the Libertarian Party is they just have too much history. People who would want to a third party, they would have already moved to the Libertarians. Like they have too much history. They're around for too long. They've been
around for too long without the
success.
Momentum. Yeah, the success.
Yeah, there's a lot of baggage that comes with the Libertarian Party that I think, if it was going to be attractive to a mass amount of people, don't get me wrong, I love the Libertarian Party, but if it was going to be attractive to people, it would have already done it. I think that's the reason for the America Party switch over.
Well, I did want to mention this, but you brought up the Genius Act with the whole cryptocurrency thing. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, our favorite, she a congresswoman? Basil, there's a pet peeve of mine that I've had for a while now, and it's not a big deal, but it's a thing that I notice out there in culture, and it's when anybody pluralizes the word revelation. So it's the book of Revelation because it's the revelation of Jesus Christ. You look at the first line there of the Revelation.
Well, revelation of John, right?
Well, the first line.
Some Bibles call it the revelation of John of Patmos or something.
Oh, sure. Yeah, maybe there's a title there for that, but let me pull it up just in case it's I'm wrong. I'm going to make sure. Revelation 1:1. Boom, boom. This is the revelation of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Right? Which God gave him to show his servants what must soon come to pass. So, okay. So anyway, it's a singular revelation of Jesus Christ. I mean, revealed to John, but it is of Jesus Christ. So when I see plural, It drives me insane. So here's Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene posting this morning. I will not vote for this. The only way to guarantee a ban on a central bank digital currency is through law. Which, okay, whatever. You guys have heard my rant about how even a stable coin, which is issued by a public company, is the exact same model from prior iterations of the military-industrial complex, the government partnering with private companies to create products and services. The exact same thing with the stablecoin thing here. It's just the CBDC is a direct control by the government rather than a corporation in a public-private partnership. But anyway, she goes on here. The Genius Act does not ban CBDC or maintain people's chain of custody. Revelations 13, 16 through 17. This is the passage. This is the mark of the beast passage, okay? It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or on their forehead, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. We're very familiar with the passage, but
she's coming right out and saying it, huh?
That's what I'm saying.
We haven't really said that or seen that yet.
So to directly quote scripture, great, fine, thank you for doing that. But got to do it's revelation, not revelations.
Amateur mistake. Rookie mistake.
But also, if we want to talk about the actual issue of CBDCs or even stable coins, the problem is the same. It's losing a level of privacy with your money, basically. If a central company can shut off or block your wallet because they don't like what you said or did or something like that. If they're told to do so by the government, how is that different from an actual CBDC? So the problems persist. They're just making it seem like it's the stablecoin thing is a better idea, which is crazy. But we've seen PayPal make a stablecoin. Bank of America just announced today that they're going to make a stablecoin. So, by the time, maybe that's part of the whole thing, Basil. By the time we get to January 2026, maybe everybody's dollars, at least like digital dollars, are stable coins. It could happen that quickly. It's crazy.
Goes back to a lot of what we're seeing, and it goes back to the big beautiful bill as well.
Yes,
because Trump's whole thing was the system isn't working. We got to get our deficit down. We got to get our debt down. The dollar is collapsing. BRICS is coming together. The whole thing, and then big beautiful bill comes out. And it's printing a bunch more money, and it increases the deficit.
They're trying to get Jerome Powell fired and get him out of office for the Federal Reserve because he's not lowering rates. Because if you lower rates, more money printer, go burr. So it's just crazy. It's crazy that we're going to print more money to get out of our situation, which was it's a cycle, folks. You get into it, COVID. You print your way out of COVID. You print your way out of 2008 crash. Same thing. We're having some issues. We're going to print our way out, and it's just going to cause more inflation.
So we have a classic situation where Trump is going back on everything he said. The tariffs, the big beautiful bill, everything but Doge. It has all been about decreasing the debt, decreasing the deficit. And, they made some pretty impressive progress. It wasn't sort of paradigm shifting, but it was more than anybody had ever seen before. Until the big beautiful bill, which got rid of all the progress and added a bunch more to it. And he's said it before. I forget. I should have dug up this clip, but I didn't really know it was going to go here. But he's actually said, Trump, that stable coins and cryptocurrency is kind of the only way out of the spiral. The dollar spiral, we've got a bunch of debt that needs to be refinanced for the country this year. And if it doesn't look like it can, we're hitting an absolute wall. Like we're looking at a default in 2033. And part of me thinks, oh, well, Trump knows. He knows that interest rates aren't going to go down. Jerome Powell, who doesn't get enough attention, has the power to kind of help refi our debt and get the country, at least stop us from going down the toilet in 2033. But here we are in July. It's going to be August soon, and the rates haven't come down. And so it feels like there's a plan B, and the plan B is the stable coin, is the digital dollar, is
crypto
the
go to moon.
Because
go
then
to moon is the backup plan.
Yeah, because at this point, really what you would do is you just let the dollar die. It still exists, and but then you have a parallel economy of stable coins, of these things that you can use to prop up society. I mean, we're talking all of society.
All of society
needs to be propped up with this so we don't die.
Well, it's crazy. I have the graphic up on the screen. People may have seen it before. It's the purchasing power of the dollar and how much it's lost in the last 100 years. It's absolutely crazy, So something that cost what a dollar 100 years ago is now what, a few cents or whatever. It's out of control.
Right.
But the same way since 2008, the crash of 2008, real estate allowed for the dollar to survive in some way because it sucked up a lot of the inflation. Mm-hmm. Instead of just your everyday purchases going up like crazy, you had real estate go up like crazy, right? They're going to do the same thing with digital assets, quote unquote.
Right.
So the dollar has been on life support for a while now, and it won't die so easily. And I think it's turning into a cyborg basically by becoming digitized with crypto. So it's going to preserve the dollar's ability to stick around and do its thing. It will continue to lose purchasing power, but if it gets tied to an asset with theoretically a limited supply, then theoretically that asset can go up in value, quote unquote, infinitely because it's sucking up all that inflation. So
it's the only way. The economy requires growth. If there's no growth, then it just dies. Like it doesn't shrink; it just dies.
It just dies. Yeah.
And so so just to put some different words on it, what you're saying is when the dollar takes a hit, when the economy takes a hit, when these catastrophic economy things happen, you got to find growth somewhere. And the growth comes in 2008. The growth came from real estate, where the dollar went down, but real estate went up. It kind of propped everything up. Yeah. And in this case, the dollar is obviously going to be destroyed in the next 10 years or so. But you can still kind of keep everything alive as long as you have some growth in something. You need something to be gaining in value. You need something to stand in the empty space that the growth of the dollar, isn't there. Something else has to grow. And the obvious choice right now is crypto. There's no other obvious choice. And also, by the way, that they are regulating and just everything you can see, it's very obvious that crypto is the thing that has to stand in the place of the dollar, or else society collapses.
Well, what about gold and silver? God's money. What about gold and silver, especially in places like Missouri?
That's not a bad point. I mean, with all the big stuff going on in gold and silver as well, it's clear that there's a lot of people fighting for that, and that is the one that would be less eschatological. That's
right.
The gold and silver, you don't need a chip in your forehead or your forearm, and you don't need this kind of stuff. So
but they're going to put the gold in the microchips in the future.
Yeah, you got the white hats. We know some white hats ourselves. We have some friends across the country who are fighting for gold and silver, and they're making some great headway. So I think gold and silver and other precious metals will be a part of that. I think the most exciting, and by exciting, I mean sort of like media frenzy, will be about crypto. But gold's gained like 40% in the past 6 months. So it's also seeing some great movement.
Well, it's been suppressed for so long. It's just been under the thumb and not allowed to, because if it gets out of control, then they got some problems, different types of problems. But
the beginning of the year, we also saw the Bank of London was moving unimaginable amounts of gold from somebody was pulling all of America's gold and putting it back on shore.
Yep. Okay. Are we done with some of this stable coin stuff and the Genius Act and Epstein?
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, before we jump into the next story, I want to give a shout out to all the people right now who have joined the Meetup Alert System. I see you. I see you out there, Meetup Alert System people. Here's the thing. Especially if you're a Face Like the Sun person and you went from watching episode 356 to 856, it's because you didn't get on the text message alert system. I get it. I get it. We disappeared. We're back. We've never gone anywhere. 500 episodes you missed. And that's because we need to find a way to stay connected when the platforms say no. And, we're here for now, but there's no guarantee we'll be here tomorrow. And so you should text the word Canary to 877-740-3226. You'll get a couple texts throughout the week just to let you know we're going live. And if something happens, if there's an announcement or we disappear or something, that's the perfect way to stay connected. You can also send us messages to that number. You can respond to us there, and it's very fun. I cannot carry on a conversation with you via text because it's very expensive for us. But you can text in. I read them. I see them. Sometimes we read them on the show, and I'll do that here in a second. But also, new and exciting program. Join the people who are joining the meetups text messages by just texting the word meetups. Meetups with an S, one word, MEETUPS. Text meetups to 877-740-3226. And we'll keep you posted if there's any meetups going on. If you want to put on a meetup yourself, pick a time, pick a place, and you can text it to that number, and we will tell the world. We'll tell of our people. We'll send it to the meetup people. We'll send it to, obviously, talk about it on the show. So it's a great thing. Listen out for the area codes you hear here because people are finding, oh my gosh, there's people in my area who are listening right now. 520 says, I do miss the Flippy updates. Thank you, 520.
Hey, look at
you
that.
You are the absolute first and only person to mention that. I could see how that would be a little shocking. If you were a Face Like the Sun viewer, we disappeared in 2021 where we had Flippy updates every single episode. And then boom, we're back. But hey, there's the Flippy updates aren't every episode.
I'm for the robots.
I know. Don't worry. We're still keeping up with Flippy. But it's not every single episode now. He moves so fast. We tune into the big important stuff.
Yeah. The developments with Flippy have been quite crazy too, so it's almost hard to keep up now. It's almost there's robot arm stories every day, every single day now.
Yeah, and they're getting
unless there's a big breakthrough, we won't probably touch it.
Right. Well, like when Elon releases Optimus and everybody has robot butlers, you'll hear about it before anybody else. 775 texted, and this was the same person who asked, if we had some sort of budget publicly so people could see what's needed. So we're still talking about how to present that. But 775 did text back and says, I do think it would be a good idea to let us have an idea of what's needed. I got to say, you guys are a huge blessing to me and my community. I'm a barber and I get to share facts with people to pull them out of the left-right paradigm all the time. Whenever
there it
I'm
is.
Barber, what a fun barber. He's talking about, paradigm shifting truth bombs with your barber.
I mean, conversations, you have to have conversations with lots of different people. I talk to my haircut lady about stuff all the time. And she's always excited about me getting a haircut because she's like, I get to hear about all the stuff going on. So
that's great.
Yeah, it's a good profession to talk about these issues.
I haven't had a haircut since 2015, so I have not talked to any barbers lately.
You're off grid. You live a different life.
The text continues, says, whenever I'm playing your show in my shop, people are always interested in asking questions. Woo! We're playing in a barber shop, Gonz. Isn't that fun? I do need to be better at producing. I don't want to see the show end at all. Don't lose heart. God is using you guys to plant seeds so that his people can do great exploits as his word promises. Well, amen. Thank you very much, 775.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Appreciate that. Just a couple more here. 58. Who is this? Hold on. Come on. Load. This is not. Oh, here we go. 587. 587 joined the meetup list and says, "Aha! There we go. We got Canarians engage. God bless Basil and Gonz and the Canarium." That's you, folks. Thank you very much, 587. We have, let's see. Oh, we have a birthday. I wanted to give a quick shout out for a birthday. Okay. This is coming from 254. 254 says, "Today is the day of my birth. I tell for whatever it's worth. I became disconnected when my iPhone alerted, yet Canary Cry will bring the mirth." Ah, happy birthday, you poet.
Happy birthday.
It's my birthday. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday.
That's right. Happy birthday. And last but not least, 269 texts and says, "Keep up the awesome work and entertainment, my dudes." Thank you very much. And again, big old thank you to everybody who has joined the Canary Cry text message alert system recently. If you haven't done it, I recommend you do it. It's kind of a fun thing. People have a lot of fun with it. And so to get on the general alerts, you just text the word Canary to 877-740-3226. And if you want meetup alerts, text the word meetups with an S to the same number.
All right. Let's get into some breaking. Well, I guess it's breaking today.
Just merely mentioning Israel or questioning in any way Israel's policies is not the same thing as being pro-Hamas.
Yeah, cut off some of that. The news this morning, big explosion happening in Syria. And what happened to my headline here? Here we go. This is from NPR. Israel strikes Syria's capital, Damascus, pledging to defend Druze minorities. So some footage was going around this morning. Here's one, a news reporter with Damascus, sort of the cityscape in the background there. And here's the sights and sounds.
Whoa.
Go to music. Anyway, yeah, it's that sounded scary. That sounded kind of unexpected.
And for those who are just listening, you have a newsreader lady who's reading the news, and behind her is the cityscape. And then a big old bomb goes off pretty close to her. Oh, I don't know if it's a video feed or a real background. Yeah, but a large explosion hits one of the buildings in the foreground, not even in the background. It's pretty intense, and she obviously was taken by surprise. I have to believe that that's real, the view behind her, because
the way she reacts is pretty...
I'm sure they're not playing an audio feed if it's a video of the city behind her as the background.
Al Jazeera released some different footage of the same explosion here.
يا شباب قصف جديد قصف جديد يا شباب قصف جديد مبنية أركان خالص قصف جديد يا شباب قصف خطونا بسرعة بسرعة.
I mean, I was 18 at 9/11. I mean, this is not as big, obviously, but it reminds me of 9/11. The way buildings are just blowing up and smoke everywhere, and this is, in the middle of not super populated, but definitely a developed area.
بسرعة 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 بسرعة.
And a big difference is that this is during the day. And the last time we got a bunch of this bombing or missile activity or whatever, it was night, so you just kind of see some fire and some smoke. But in this footage, they're close enough, the bombs are close enough, and it's daytime that when you see the bomb hit the building, you're like watching chunks of the building fly up in the air.
Al Jazeera, hold on, wait a minute. There's Al Jazeera reporter kind of comes into the frame here. He's clearly an Al Jazeera reporter because he's got the microphone with the logo for Al Jazeera on the microphone. Yeah. But you know what I noticed, Basil, is remember when the last time stuff was blowing up and everything, and they said Al Jazeera was on top of a building, like perfect, ready to go, capture the image. They have the same vest on as those folks. So what is it about Al Jazeera that they're just in the perfect spot to capture like real clear video footage of stuff like this?
Just lucky, I guess.
just man, they're really, they must be really working out whatever they're doing. Very interesting. So this obviously brings up some different things. As NPR reports here, Israel launched airstrikes into Syria's capital of Damascus on Wednesday, hitting the defense ministry headquarters in an area near the presidential palace. Israel's military said it was intervening to defend the minority Druze sect in southwest Syria, whose community straddles the border with the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. Syrian government forces had joined Bedouin militias in clashes with Druze armed groups in the southern Syrian city of Sueda. So, again, there's some stuff going on there. Now, Damascus, at least in the West, and especially when it comes to your fans of Bible prophecy, biblical eschatology, Damascus comes up a lot. When I first started to look into end times prophecy, and scripture and all this kind of stuff, the way the folks I was around and listening to and learning from were using Damascus, they were saying, oh, Damascus, there's going to be a time when Damascus will be in a ruinous heap because, they're going to be judged. And it's based on Isaiah 17:1, where it says, "This is the burden against Damascus. Behold, Damascus is no longer a city. It has become a heap of ruins." And over the years, there's always been like footage of rubble. Like if stuff gets blown up in Damascus, there's video footage of like crumpled building blocks and stuff, and this scripture being quoted. It's always very powerful. But is this actually, what we're looking for? Some kind of destruction of Damascus? Well, again, according to some of those eschatologists, yes, this is something we're waiting for. Others say that some of this, at least biblically, this was fulfilled in 2 Kings 16:9, where it says the king of Assyria, let me read the ESG, and the king of Assyria listened to him. The king of Assyria marched up against Damascus and took it, carrying its people captive to Kir, and he killed Rezin. And a lot of Bible commentators will say that, that's when the prophecy was fulfilled right there. And I've never seen, and just as a qualifier, I have not heard any Israeli politician or Netanyahu, as far as I understand, maybe this is, there's something out there that I didn't catch. They've never used this scripture to justify going after Syria or Damascus or anything like that. So, in case anyone's wondering. However, there are plenty of blogs and rapture websites, like pre-trib rapture websites, that talk about how, there's tensions in the Middle East, there's stuff going on, and part of what we can expect to see is the destruction of Damascus to a ruinous heap, meaning there's no remnant of it when this judgment is done. And a lot of folks will attribute this type of end for Damascus at the hands of modern nation state Israel. At least that's how it's presented in Western eschatology, or a certain segment of it, which I happen to disagree with. But, one of the people who said that is a guy named Bill Salas. And I'm only bringing him up, not to go after him, but I'm only bringing him up because, first of all, his quote, he says, "Presently, almost every known Middle Eastern terrorist organization has representation in Damascus. Soon they will have none." That was his statement several years ago. And I bring him up because I've met Bill Salas. We've actually been at the same conferences, and we've spoken at the same conferences and stuff.
Right.
He was at the prophecy conference we put together, Basil.
Yep,
he was one of the
I
speakers.
remember.
And he's just a super nice guy. So it's like I just want to say that because I've met people that have the same belief systems as Bill Salas, who are very mean to me, but then Bill Salas is very nice. So just trying to say, like, hey, we can disagree with some of this stuff, but get along. It's not like this is a end-all be-all type of situation about, when Damascus will be destroyed, or, the prophecy debate about it or anything like that. So anyway, just wanted to bring that up. So if you see some of that stuff out there, I'm sure it's just interesting how any event that happens in the Middle East, there's always a scripture in the eschatological framework that gets brought up, for better or worse. On one hand, it's like, hey, if it's going to help people crack open the Bible and study your Bible, then hey, that's great. That's a great thing. But also, if you're being misled to, not so grounded or not very good eisegesis handling of the scripture, then it might be an issue. But you got to start somewhere. So, I see the good and the bad in all of it. But prayers for the people out there in Damascus, and hopefully people are safe. And actually, I think the number of deaths was counted at 35. So there were 35 deaths, I believe, was the report. So it's unfortunate that there's always deaths in these situations.
And, it was a little bit obscure at the time. There was other stuff people are paying attention to. But Syria just did have a regime change, and the guy they put in charge of Syria was like formerly described as a terrorist, and then Israel took up a position. What was it? Was it on Mount Hermon that the Israeli army or the IDF is now occupying Mount Hermon in Syria?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, and so Syria is a bit. This kind of fits in with the Greater Israel Project, the sort of expanding of Israel's borders, and the IDF. I don't know if they're currently there. But I never heard they left. Is occupying a big piece of Syria after the rebellion regime change thing. So, this is very interesting. I think Mount Hermon is only like 60 miles from Damascus or something.
Yeah,
if I'm
there's
not
a report.
Incorrect.
The IDF, this is from last week, the 10th of July. The IDF has captured the Syrian side of Mount Hermon in the Golan Heights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There you
go. So it looks like you might need to pick up babies here soon, Gonz.
There's no pickup today, but there is I can stretch it for 15, 20 minutes.
Few minutes. Okay.
We can knock things out a little bit. Yeah.
Good. Let's do that. I got one last story here, which I think is very interesting. I mean, it's very telling as far as what we're seeing, not just in the culture war, but in the spiritual war that's going on. So I'm going to jump that in a second, but I do want to remind everybody, after every single episode, we have the survey, the episode survey, and don't roll your eyes. Yes, you got to take the survey. Here's the thing. We are in the process of improving the show. Every single episode, we are making minute tweaks. We are fixing things. We are moving things. We are really trying to listen to y'all. Now, whether you love the show, whether you hate the show, whatever you think about the show, these surveys are truly the best way for us to understand, what's actually going on out there and not just winging it and doing it the way we like it or whatever. But it also puts it in a sort of data format so we can it's usable. It's actually usable for us, and it's incredibly usable. So, if you got a complaint or you got something to say, we can't go through all the YouTube messages. We can barely go through emails. You can't text it. But the best way to let us know and give us your ideas and also help us gather really important data that so far, I'm not going to lie, the show has been improving. It's been improving, I think, every episode for about 10 or 12 episodes now. And of course, we are on our July experiment to move the producer segment to the end. We are still on the value for value model. So remember, if you like the producer segment at the end, not interrupting the news, go take the survey, and produce the show. But you'll see in the description of this video, wherever you are, Rumble, YouTube, Face Like the Sun, wherever, the surveys take literally 30 seconds. There are 2 required questions. Click, boom, you're done. It's easy peasy. You don't even have to finish the episode to do it. You could do it right now. In the time that I take to tell you about it, you could already do it, and then we could move on. But seriously, big shout out to all the new survey takers. God bless you guys. Thank you for coming in and letting us know what you think. It's a big deal. And then also, thank you to all the veteran survey takers. It's obviously important to get new people taking it, but it's also very helpful that we have, at least a couple dozen people who just keep coming back to take the survey, because that gives us a really good, consistent sort of control idea that, as we make progress and as we adjust the show, that the same people are able to notice it. The same people can see their own suggestions being put into play. It's very cool. So just take a second, super easy. If you're listening to the podcast, it's there in the podcast description. It's tiny.cc/cc859. It'll say survey link at the top. It's tiny.cc/cc859. That's the episode number. So please go ahead and take it right now. It's gonna be a blast. People are having a lot of fun with it. People's answers to these questions, honestly, Gonz, are absolutely opening my eyes. We have been podcasting since 2012. We're going on, what is that, 13 years? 13 years.
Well, it'll be 14 next year. It'll be 14 next year.
Yes, and the year after it'll be 15. It's incredible how time works.
So we're in the 13th year, yeah.
Yeah, and I am learning things from these surveys from our people that it is a shame that we didn't notice ourselves. So that's just the nature of it. Yeah. But we appreciate it. So please, thank you. Especially if you're, maybe you're not a producer of the show. Maybe you have a hard time figuring out how to put value back into the show, because it's value for value, of course. Taking those surveys is a great way to start returning value, not just to us, but to the whole community around the world.
Absolutely.
Okay, Gonz, we're going to check in with Superbabies. Let's talk about, Superbaby stuff.
'Cause I'm DNA.
We should invite fewer people to be born.
Man, that DNA jingle, that is old school, and I'm so happy to hear it back on the show. So this is coming from Washington Post, okay? The headline is Inside the Silicon Valley Push to Breed Superbabies. Superbabies. Let me just give you the intro here, and then I'm going to take you through quite a fun journey. A group of well-heeled 30-something women sat down to dinner last spring at a table set with pregnancy-friendly mocktails and orchids, ready to hear a talk about how to optimize their offspring. Gotta optimize those offspring. Noor, N-O-O-R, I'm going to call her Noor. Noor Siddiqui, the founder of an embryo screening startup and the guest of honor at the backyard event in Austin, offered a grand vision of custom-built algorithms and genome analysis that would help eradicate illness and disease. Siobhan Zills, a tech executive who has just given birth to Elon Musk's then secret 13th child, and other guests donned pastel-colored baseball hats Siddiqui handed out. They were emblazoned with a single word: babies. I want one of these hats. I want one of these babies' hats. That's great.
I can't believe this is the beginning of the revolution of genetically modified babies. Is that, or maybe not genetically modified?
Maybe not the beginning of the revolution, but like this is past like the tech. This is past experiments. This is culture. The development of the culture of superbabies, of using science, genomics, algorithms, things like this to perfect your children before they're even born. Very transhuman, very, pro-natalist, which is good. But this is straight up like the future.
It's funny. We've had this like depopulation agenda for a long time, right? And it's like calling it out for the last several decades, all these researchers and truth-seeking individuals. And then you get a guy, like a true world influencer, who comes out and says, yeah, depopulation's a problem. We really got to get busy and repopulate the earth. And how do we do that? Designer babies. It's like, we had a small window where we had a chance, but nope, way over the target now. And now we're going to deal with the designer babies. Like, great.
So they go through the idea of genomic testing and, testing to see if the baby has any diseases and stuff like that. Then, for $2,500 per embryo screening on top of the average $20,000 for a single cycle of IVF. This is all very IVF focused, by the way. Siddiqui's social network in Silicon Valley and other tech hubs is an ideal target market. So they're focusing on Silicon Valley, these kind of weirdos perfecting their children basically in the womb. Now, Siddiqui, who intends to have 4 children using her own orchid-screened embryos, advocates a bolder idea to gaining ground in the tech world that increasingly available and sophisticated fertility technologies will supplant sex as a preferred method of reproduction for everyone. Now, this is where it gets dark, okay? We're getting dark here. This place is called Orchid. I think it's just called Orchid. They got their orchid babies. Elon Musk's baby mama used it for his 13th child. And they come out and say, hey,
great.
Orchid and this way of having babies, which is IVF. Remember, this is artificial stuff. They're not talking about getting an embryo the regular way and then testing that embryo. They're talking about doing IVF, collecting a bunch of eggs, turning them all into embryos, and then testing each embryo and looking at a spreadsheet to see which embryo you want to have and saying, hey, this increasingly available and sophisticated fertility technology will supplant sex as a preferred method of reproduction for everyone. So we're seeing this move into very standard culture. Here's the quote. Quote, sex is for fun and embryo screening is for babies, Siddiqui said in a video she shared on X. Soon, she suggests, it will be unremarkable for hopeful couples to choose their...
Sorry. That was a real, actual slip of the finger there.
Wow, that's good. It will be unremarkable for hopeful couples to choose their embryos by spreadsheet, as her current clients do, weighing, say, a propensity for heart disease that is 1.7 times the risk of the general population against a 2.7 score for schizophrenia. Now, as always, this is always done in the context of protecting the baby from illness, protecting the baby from a disease. But included in these things you can pick from, of course, is height, eye color, hair color, athleticism. It's all on there. But they love to focus, of course, on the elimination of suffering and disease. Zillis, the mother of 4 of Musk's at least 14 children, has been an Orchid client. So now we have at least 1, maybe up to 4 or 5 of Musk's kids being born through this company. According to 2 people close to the company speaking on the condition of anonymity to describe private conversations. They said at least one of Musk and Zillis's offspring is an orchid baby. Siddiqui declined to comment on the assertion, which was first reported by The Information, a tech industry news site last summer. Musk and Zillis did not respond for requests for comment. Orchid represents a slice of a broader cultural movement in which powerful people in Washington and Silicon Valley are pushing the importance of producing offspring. So that's this pro-natalism that we're seeing, right? Have more babies. And it's not just Washington and Silicon Valley. You've got conservative commentators, podcasters, pundits, everybody's talking about babies, which is good. However, in Washington and Silicon Valley, they're pushing for this IVF, orchid Superbaby thing.
Data spreadsheets for babies.
Choose your baby off the spreadsheet. Vice President J.D. Vance, Musk and Siddiqui's early benefactor, the conservative billionaire investor Peter Thiel. So, of course, Peter Thiel has a hand in this. Have all repeatedly argued that falling birth rates threaten the future of industrialized nations and that people should have more children to counteract the decline, a viewpoint known as pro-natalism. So you have on one hand, the pro-immigration side. And really the only argument that the, open borders, let everybody in crowd has is we do need more people. We can't, the country is in big trouble if we can't get more people. So they then say under their breath, let's import a second class slave class to come do cheap labor so that we can all keep being rich and cool. Whereas J.D. Vance, Musk, Sadiq, and Peter Thiel, they're like, yeah, we got to have babies. So let's put them all on a spreadsheet and make some super babies.
Pick them. Yeah, super babies. Might as well.
Can't we just have some babies the regular way, folks? I mean, it also does fit in with the dramatic decline in, sexual activity of Gen Z. Of course, the millennials, I think, were the most damaged by the don't have babies, just have a career psyop, of course. Yeah. And, you got to take into account the fertility crisis, the microplastics, the endocrine disruptors. It's in your water bottle. It's in your hand lotion. Every single thing about the environment in which our society exists, is actively and physiologically defertilizing people, infertilizing people, not to mention, some certain medical products that a lot of people felt they didn't have the choice to take, which is also quite known for fertility problems. The growing movement. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, have they not seen the movie Gattaca? These people that are running around trying to do this?
I think they did, and they thought it was a great documentary on how to save the world.
They identified with the wrong people in the movie or something.
Yeah.
They didn't relate to Ethan Hawke and his less than perfect human, whatever his name was, Vincent Freeman, or was I think his name in the movie.
Yeah.
He was born less than because of his genetic sufficiencies.
Yeah, well, and Brave New World as well. We talk about Brave New World. We talk about 1984. A big part of Brave New World was the idea of sex for conception was just foreign, absolutely bizarre to the people in Brave New World.
Bumble puppies
which
and all that.
We are literally saying, it's been a conversation of ours literally since 2012, since the second we started podcasting was, well, what do you think about the future? Is it going to be 1984, tyrannical control Big Brother mechanism, or will it be Brave New World, subduing us with pleasure and making all of our carnal desires instantly come true whenever we want, and casual relationships and all this kind of stuff. And it's funny because those two visions of the future are still battling each other out, but instead of battling and competing, they're like hugging in the octagon. They're just like
they're both
and
running
kissing.
Up the mountain. For the Promethean fire. It's like they're both
and they're helping
at the
each
same time.
other up the mountain.
Yeah, they're helping each other. Right.
It's really a great vision of cooperation.
Break free from the 1984, follow us, Brave New World. And, you want the Brave New World nonsense out there, we got to lock it down, 1984.
They're getting together and let us build a tower to the heavens, for we shall accomplish anything we want.
There you go.
That's what it is.
Tower
so, it goes on. We've covered the type of technology, and we've even covered, the Silicon Valley stuff. But what was really disturbing to me was this quote from Sadiq, both that increasingly available and sophisticated fertility technologies will supplant sex, replace sex as a preferred method of reproduction. Preferred method. No one will prefer doing it the fun way. It's all test tubes. And then the quote, sex is for fun and embryo screening is for babies, is just such a dark and twisted, malevolent take on the gifts that God has given us. It's crazy. You combine that with all the other stuff that I went through. And this is now reaching a level of culture, not just technology, not just ability, not just weird transhumanists, but we're reaching a period where this is going to start, becoming, like she says, the preferred way to have babies. And especially because IVF in general continues to get more effective, I'll say. more effective, more and more people than ever, especially millennials who were told, don't have babies, don't have babies. Now they're all turning 40 and they're like, oh my gosh, I've been lied to. I need to have babies. This is a disaster. And unfortunately, for many of them, going to IVF is the only way to do it, or at least the only way to do it in time.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a little bit more I wanted to talk on this. I'm a little out of time, but there were a couple scriptures that I wanted to point out, which is Psalm 139. You guys mostly probably already know it, 139:13. For you formed my inward parts, you knitted me together in my mother's womb. Look at that. God is knitting you together in your womb, not a spreadsheet. So...
yeah, amen. Well, let's get you out of here. Let's take a second. Let's thank some producers. Because it is July, we're putting the producer segments at the end of the show. If you like the producer segment at the end, produce the show, okay? It's the value for value model. We will not exist unless people do this.
Yep.
You want to play a jingle?
Yep. Hold on. I gotta probably run here. So I can get the jingle going, and then I might have to.
Okay, sounds good. All acapella jingles after this, if we need.
Here we go. Why is it so quiet? Hold on, let me try one more time.
Everything's so producer. Yay! That's right, folks. We're on the value for value model, which means we do not take any money from corporations, commies, cartels, governments, non-government organizations, the Vatican, nobody. We have to answer to no one for what happens on this show. That's the way we like it. To cover the things we cover, to say the things we say, and to do it all through a biblical lens that is not just bending over to the taking a knee to the culture that will be enforced by the monetary support of the establishments who insist that media cannot exist unless it serves corporate interests. That's what advertising is. Don't get me started on the occult and esoteric roots of advertising.
I got 10 minutes.
He's got 10 minutes.
I got 10 minutes. You
Let's
got 10
do it.
There's no way you can do this in 10 minutes.
We all got 10 minutes. So there you go, folks. We got 10 minutes. And here's the thing. Maybe if you haven't watched the show in many years, you'll remember producer segments go all throughout the show because we like to thank people all throughout the show. For the month of July, we are experimenting with something people have begged for many years, which is putting it at the end of the show. Okay? But it's only going to work if the numbers make it work. So if you wanna keep the producer segments at the end of the show, go produce the show with your time, your talent, your treasure. It's not all about money. You can make art, make music, volunteer for different things on the back end, or come in with your treasure because, of course, that's required. And you can learn all about this at canarycry.support. We're starting out with our executive producers. Thank you, to all of our producers who sign up for a monthly producership. It doesn't even have to be for very much. Even those who come in for $1, $2, whatever. The fact that you would take the time to click the button and say, yes, I get value and I want to continue to get value. I will be sad if Canary Cry disappears. If you will be sad that Canary Cry might disappear, you gotta produce the show with your time, your talent, your treasure. The executive producers are people who come in, they support any individual show, any individual episode with their with their treasure for $100 or more. That's why we give them the coveted executive producer title. And we're going to start out with, of course, executive producer Sir LX Protocol, V2 Baron of the Breen Protocol. He's coming in. He's coming in again for $100.33. God bless you. And he's got a 409 episode streak in total and a 63 episode executive producer streak. Thank you very much. We also have, I believe, there was a very funny text message that we got regarding the executive producerships, which I will read in a second. But I do want to say this. If you're producing for the first time, even if you're producing in the first time, maybe just in a long time, you should send us a email at canarycryradio@gmail.com, or put it in your message with your producership. Just tell us that you need a demooching, because we'll demooch you. We don't keep records of all these things. So if you want to be demooched, then we'll demooch you. But we got, it was somebody in the survey. In the survey, there's the, what did you like least about this episode? And somebody's least favorite part of last episode was when we were being too nice to the moochers. When we were babying the moochers.
Yeah,
I know.
Some people they're soft. Some people are soft.
I know. Well, I like to be soft with people who need softness, and that's fine.
You got to draw the hard line. Otherwise, they're going to be wisping around. They're not going to.
Here it is.
Put their foot down and move forward.
What did you like least about this episode? You refused to shame the moochers and self-censored yourself using the term moocher as to not hurt their feelings from hearing the truth of an action they have a choice to do. Well, thank you very much for the support on that survey taker. Not that I know this person is a moocher or not. I don't know. I just didn't recognize their name. But we have executive producer Michael J. comes in.
Michael Jordan?
It could have been Michael Jordan, number 23 of
Michael Jackson,
the Los Angeles Rockets or whatever. Baseball star Michael Jordan comes in with a nice round number, and that's a good reminder for those who might be thinking about producing. If you produce the show in a nice round number on the 10 or the 5, that's you telling us you prefer we don't disclose the amount. If you put 33 cents or 77 cents, 1, 2, 3, 4, if you make the number kind of funky and fun and mean something by it, that's you saying, go ahead, tell the world. So thank you very much, executive producer Michael J.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you.
Okay, we got some people to thank who came in under the executive producer amount. God bless you. Starting out, of course, with the one, the only Cage Rattler Coffee, Gonz. You got to thank Cage Rattler Coffee.
Rattler Coffee, of course.
That's right. You got to buy your coffee anyways. You're going to do it. You're going to give your money to a corporation. And I'm going to keep talking until I hear the jingle start. But why not participate in the parallel economy, supporting the show and supporting Canarians?
Cage Rattler Coffee. Where value for
That's
value
right.
never tasted so good.
That's right. Maybe you have a hard time. Maybe you have a hard time producing the show. Maybe the budget isn't there. Maybe you haven't heard the call from the Lord to get involved. But you got to buy coffee anyways. You might as well go to Cage Rattler Coffee. It's roasted, packaged, shipped, all by Canarians. Support fellow Canarians, and of course, a portion of every purchase comes to support the show. Excellent coffee. I have it every day. People won't stop talking about it. Get your Nephilim Hunter Dark Roast, your Emu Wrangler Medium Roast. You're going to love it. And very competitive prices. So let's keep those guys over at Cage Rattler Coffee feeling honored and appreciated.
Yep.
Next up,
thank you.
We've got producer Anonymous coming in for a nice round number. Thank you, Anonymous. We have producer Emily H. Thank you, producer Emily H. Yes, coming in for a nice round number as well. I mentioned on the last episode when it happened live, but I also want to mention it again just to honor this person. Obey in the chat. Obey. Join the Canary Cry Supply Drop.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you very much. Live on the show, join the Canary Cry Supply Drop. And if you don't know, go to canarycrysupplydrop.com. You'll support the show for $33.33 a month. And then every single quarter, you're going to get a package filled with custom created stuff that, see that hat on Gonz's head? The last supply drop had the Gonz prayer hat. It had CDs. We've got all sorts of stuff going out, and that's a nice big package. And go get it. I missed a note from Emily.
Oh, you did?
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to play the jingle.
Yeah, do it.
Note from Emily?
Back back to Emily H. Yes, producer Emily H. did send a note here, and it just didn't get into my spreadsheet for some reason, and that note goes as such. Love you guys forever. So much value. Wish I could do more. Well, thank you so much, Emily H. And literally at this point, every dollar counts. So thank you very much. Coming in to support at all is a huge help. Yep. Next up, we've got the one, the only, the American Hobo.
American Hobo, thank you.
Coming in for $23.32 on a 25 episode streak.
25. Got 2 more to bust that.
2 more. That's right. Next up, producer Jesse S. came in and joined the T-shirt Council.
All right.
That's right. canarycrysupplydrop.com. Go there, folks. Do you like shirts? Do you like wearing shirts? Do you like deciding what shirt everybody else gets to wear? And do you like getting the shirt for free? That's what you get when you go to canarycrysupplydrop.com.
Oops, sorry. I forgot that.
And just so the T-shirt Council people know, I resent the survey. You should have gotten another email today with the survey. You need to go decide what this T-shirt looks like this quarter. I sent it out again. And so we need the remaining T-shirt counselors. You have till midnight tonight to vote on the T-shirt. Just search for T-shirt Council, Canary Cry T-shirt Council. Check all your mail. Check your spam folders. The survey went out again, so go enjoy it. Next up, thank you, Jesse S. We've got producer Jessica L. Jessica
L. Thank you.
Yeah, Jessica L. is on a 2-episode streak.
A 2-episode streak is a streak.
She comes in for $7.77 and has a note here that says, supporting producership at the end. Supporting producership at the end. Woot woot. Last show with Epstien, Grok, and Kabbalah was seamless. Thank you for everything. Thank you very much, Jessica L.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Jessica L.
Yeah, actually, according to the surveys, last episode was our highest rated survey in quite some time. So if somebody out there missed last episode, go listen to it. It was on Monday. Next up, we got producer Aaron B. coming in. He's on a 39-episode streak.
39. Thank you.
That's right. We got Logan C. coming in for $7.77.
Logan C. Thank you, Logan.
And we got producer Carrie R. joined up to support the show for $7.77 a month. God bless you, Carrie.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate you, Carrie.
Love to see the monthly producership. It means so much. It gives us a hope for a future. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, that's 10 minutes, Basil. Just so you know,
let me do this. I'm just going to read the names of the people who came in under $7.77. You don't have to jingle. Do not jingle.
All right. Okay.
Sir Darren comes in. He came in twice. Thank you. His streak continues. Mrs. Tinfoil Hatman, Veronica D, Sir Morv, Sir Scott, and Sir Casey. Thank you for your streaks. We're keeping track of them. I want to give a big old thank you to the timestampers, Jade Bouncerson and Morgan E.
Yes. Hold on.
Yes, thank you.
Trying to type in things.
I can just go. We don't need to wait for this if you got to go.
Yeah, I got to probably run.
Okay. So thank you, Jam. Jam is the leader of the Telegram. Adam42 is the leader of the Discord. You can join both of those communities over at canarycry.party. It's a URL. Go to it. Big ol' shout out to canarycry.community. Go join that. It's a separate social media platform just for us. Thank you to Joe for the feedback. Thank you to Clank for everything you do, Clank. And nobody share the show. Don't even think about sharing the show. This show is not for anybody else. But if you do, we do call it Rattling Cages. And all you got to do is walk right up to him, grab him by the cage, and then you shake it. And he's gone. Think of, you know what? I probably have access to that jingle. I don't need Gonz. Who needs them? Here we go. Watch this. Oh, gosh, they changed everything. They changed everything on the back end. Why do they do that? Here we go.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop. that. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. Gonz is gone. He has no other words. There's nothing left to say. Thanks, everybody who came in, watched live. Big old shout out to all the podcast listeners, wherever you are. And we don't forget about you, and so you don't forget about us. Remember, folks, value for value. July is the time to decide if this show exists or disappears forever. So go to canarycry.support to support the show. Again, big old shout out to everybody who joined the Canary Cry text message alert system. Text Canary to get the alerts. And even better, you can text the word meetups. That's right, to 877-740-3226. Text the word meetups. You'll get our meetup alerts. It's just about, I'm thinking, one text a week, so don't worry. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. You do this, so continue to do this. Oh yeah, take the survey. Do take the survey. Go take it right now. What are you thinking? You got time. You got time. You can finish before the song's even over. All right, that's it. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage. All right. Hey, look at us go. No mixtape at the end here, folks. Bye-bye.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy